So all of you guys can clear that little doodad, the got it. So anything that you say now is official. It will be recorded. So does anybody have any burning questions? Or yes, Janelle, I figured you would.
I do. I'm going to pull up my profile. So if you want me to,
let me give you permission to share.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, you're a co-host, Janelle, so go ahead, take the wheel.
Share. Oops, sorry, I'll just go there. Share. Yeah. Last time can you see everything there?
Yes, I'm seeing it. Everybody else? Yeah.
Okay. So the last time you had a call, you kindly showed us how to add pages. So I've added 2 more since we had that conversation, and I just had a yes. Actually, I have 3 total, but you know, I'm a doobie. I do what you say. So I'm gonna go here. So let me scroll down. So I have one for our company. You know, automatically goes there. No problem. I've had that for some time, but the ones that I added were here. Music City Meditation, and then I added another one, but I don't see it here, and it's to take people to my personal website. So my question is, maybe I didn't click the last button or something to do this correctly, and I'll show you where we see it. Be back to profile, and I hope this question is beneficial to everybody on the call. All right.
And yeah, I'm only seeing, if you look at the bottom of that pop-up,
yeah,
it says you have 2 companies listed, the Music City Meditation and Strategic Interactions.
Right.
And I don't see the other one, so I don't think it's published. It should be there.
Okay, and the only reason that sometimes I end up clicking around here and I can't get back to where I wanted to go. Okay, here we go. It shows up here. This is the one.
Ah, okay, let's go to that and see what it looks like.
Yeah, and it's
so interesting.
I know, right? So, I listened to the recording, and I did the same steps. So maybe I haven't done something here.
Now, where do you want to connect that on your profile? Let's go back to your profile quick.
Well, I'd like to, I think, put it under work experience, you know, here.
And you have to have a specific place for it to connect it.
Maybe that's what I didn't do. So this one has it. This one has it. So the other one doesn't show up here. So I don't know what I did. How do I fix it?
So what you're going to want to do, and I love that logo, you know, just your initials. That's
for that one. Good.
So sleek. So scroll up to the top of work experience, right where the plus sign is in the right-hand corner. Yeah. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add an experience and a description for that. And then you can add that logo to it as well.
Okay. So that's what I need to do.
Yes. Right. Yeah. It has to have a home.
You know, and I couldn't. I don't know that I didn't get that when I listened to it again. So I'm so glad that you're able to help me. So I'll do that later. So. And
then what you want to do, Janelle, is you want to strategically position those, you know, whichever one you want on top. Here's the way I want everybody to think about LinkedIn. What is going to help you make money today? What is your entry-level product or service that you're really trying to get new people aware of?
Okay. Awesome.
That's what you put at the top.
Okay.
And you speak directly to them in their language. So if it's the strategic interactions, is that it?
That's our company website. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If that is how you make your money, great. If the Janelle Evans is credibility, you put that underneath it.
Okay.
But then you use it to drive traffic wherever you need to drive traffic to.
Perfect. Thank you. All right.
Does that bring up any questions for anybody else about the function of a company page, or, you know, your priorities for what you're doing with that very top work experience? I mean, if I was super smart, what I would do is at the top of mine, I would put something like creator of the 10-day challenge, and just make it about the 10-day challenge.
Okay.
That would probably be the smartest thing for me to do. So you want to be thinking about, you know, what is the easiest way for somebody to begin to do business with you? Hey, Bente. Hey, Mark.
I'll stop sharing now in case somebody else wants to. Thank you.
Sorry, we're
Thank you
late.
so much.
And what you guys missed will be in the recording, so you can watch the first couple of minutes.
Okay.
But it was about company pages, and Janelle showed us all three of hers, which is awesome. And so if you have wildly different lines of business, you want to have a company page for each. For example, I do public speaking, and generally it's not an individual that's going to hire me for public speaking, which is my main bread and butter client, is an individual. It's organizations. So I'm speaking to a different audience altogether, and their lingo and, you know, what appeals to them. So my speaker page is really speaking to attorney firms. Now, is everybody else going to be able to figure it out? Yes, but I'm really going for that top tier attorney firm, you know, Baker McKenzie, Dwayne Morris, the people that I do business with regularly, and their competition. That's who I'm wanting to speak to. So if you have wildly different lines of business, you know, my friend Janet does equine assisted leadership. And so she works with both corporate groups and founders and entrepreneurs. And those are two very different audiences. So you need to have different language and different materials for each of those. And if you're an author, you want to make sure that you have an author page as well. I mean, here in the Bay Area, having a book is a huge credibility piece. And somebody pointed out to me yesterday, I did a initial, you know, I did a first time one-on-one with somebody, and they're like, you don't have a page for your book? I was like, calling out the LinkedIn consultant.
I have a follow-up to, you know, once you get that page right, should we be updating on our pages like we're updating on our profile? Because if you don't have something there other than, you know, like in that case, I'm kind of sending people to go to my website or to see that this is what I specialize in, kind of thing. So I posted one or two things because I just set it up the other day. So should we be posting on our pages as much as we are on our profile?
Who's got time for that? So here's best practices for that. You know, Janelle, if you have a sign up for something, you know, a 6-week meditation boot camp, or you have a PDF, you know, 7 best practices for meditating alone at home, or, you know, whatever it might be. Hey, Mark, glad you could join us. Whatever those resources are, you know, best practice is you pin a video of you talking about some part of your business to the very top of the page. And the company page is the only place that you can pin something so that it always stays at the top. And so that's kind of, you know, like on YouTube, you can do, you know, welcome to my channel, and here's what you're going to see if you subscribe to my channel. And each week there's a new LinkedIn tip, or whatever your welcome video is. But that would be ideal. So for each of those pages, what is your quintessential offering, and talk about that, and then put 2 resources below that. So a PDF or a sign up page, things like that. Now, another best practice that is kind of like a super insider secret tip is your featured section is a place where you can be gaining SEO constantly. So what I do is I look at my posts for the week, for the past week on Sunday, and see which one did best. And then I add it to the featured section. And I do that for all of my clients that I'm currently working with on social media management. I look to see what was their highest performing post, and I add it to their featured section. It's like adding a blog post to a website. It's fresh content and SEO. So that keeps your profile views high. And if you are reaching back to the people that view your profile, if you're using that as a lead gen strategy, it helps grease the wheels for that. So great questions. So Ming, do you have a question? If you want to, you can go ahead and type it in the chat if you need to.
I just wanted to show up to kind of plug back in. I'm actually launching my coaching business. And so I just wanted to get in here and
finally.
So, yeah, I don't have anything specific today, although I probably will need to be looking at that. And I've got background going on. So so that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to hang.
Great.
But I would like, I guess, some direction on, I want to completely revamp my profile for my, my Living Well in the Wireless World business and figure out how to link it to, or what to do with my new business, which is my Living Well coaching, holistic business coaching, and lifestyle coaching.
Great, great. Well, and there's a couple of really good points in there. One of the best uses of LinkedIn is to drive traffic to your website. So, when you think about how big TikTok and Facebook and YouTube and all of those are, 52% of all social media driven traffic that goes to websites comes from LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is teeny tiny as far as size in the social media world. It's way less than half the size of Facebook, and it's like a 15th the size of YouTube. But 52% of all social media traffic driven to websites comes from LinkedIn. And I really think that's because, how many of you want to hire somebody off of Facebook? You're going to look at their LinkedIn profile first. Facebook is great. And if you know the person and you know that they're legit, great. But if you don't know them and they haven't been recommended to you, you're going to go to LinkedIn to see, who is this person? Are they worth a phone call? Are they legit? And that's how all the traffic gets driven, from LinkedIn. So think of ways that you can do a call to action and get people onto your website. Because here's the truth about LinkedIn. Purchasing decisions do not happen on LinkedIn. Everybody's got their poker face. I will not be sold on LinkedIn. I'm looking for resources. I'm looking for answers. I'm looking for solutions. But I'm not going to spend any money while I'm on LinkedIn. I'm being a professional. It's kind of funny. So you want to get them off of LinkedIn and onto a landing page or a website. Get them to sign up for your newsletter. Get them to sign up for an initial consultation, whatever that might be. Welcome, Judy. Glad you could make it. And I will be sending out the recording so you won't miss a thing. So, I'm going to spend some time during November and December after the holidays, and I'm going to take out some big sheets of newsprint paper and I'm going to start mapping things, because it's really nice to be able to follow what really happens. So if somebody, here's what typically will happen for me. Laura Gates, or one of my really loyal referral partners, will say, oh, you need to work with Angela. And so they Google my name, and the first thing they see is my LinkedIn profile. And the second thing they see is my YouTube channel. And I've had a couple people tell me, you know, I watched 3-4 of your videos and a master class. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. The master classes are 90 minutes. And I want to know how we can work together. Those are the kind of calls we want. Out of the blue, somebody that you've never met before that says, how can we work together? That's ideal. So you have to kind of map how that works. You know, they're going to find your LinkedIn profile first, but then the next thing you want them to do is to get lost wherever it is that they start making purchasing decisions. So for me, it's YouTube. So my whole strategy should be around driving traffic to my YouTube channel and beefing up the welcome message on my YouTube channel and cleaning up my playlist so that if people want to choose professional branding, that there's a playlist for that. If they want to choose content strategy, there's a nice, neatly ordered playlist for that. And I'm kind of there, but not quite. I'm a perfectionist, so there's videos on some of those playlists that don't belong there. So anyway, so does that make sense to you guys? You really want to start thinking about, we're in a digital world now. People are making decisions about who they want to work with and what they're going to buy on the digital platform. And here's the real truth of what I'm seeing these days is people are really making much more informed decisions. You know, they're not just purchasing every class that comes along like they did at the beginning of the pandemic. They're really making strategic decisions, but once they're ready, they're ready. So most of the entire client journey is done on digital, and you have no idea what they're doing. You don't know they're even in your pipeline. You don't get them until they're at the decision point. So what you want to think about is your pipeline has to offer very valuable information every step of the way, because you could lose them at any point and you don't know it. You don't know they're in your pipeline. It's an invisible pipeline. So you really, you know, number one is make sure that you have the best possible LinkedIn profile. Your above the fold view has got to say something directly to your ideal client. That banner has to be impressive. That headline has to speak to them, tell them the problem that you solve and how you solve it, what your ideal audience is. Then you get them down to the about section, and that first paragraph has got to pull them in immediately. You have to speak directly to, you have to pierce them through the heart with what you say. You know, it has to be a story about the most challenging client you ever had and what that situation was, the solution that you came up with together, and then the success that that client was able to enjoy after that. You know, they lived a healthier, fuller life. They got rid of stress and migraines, you know, whatever the story is. So you have to like paint the picture of the promised land. So, I mean, that's how sales happens on LinkedIn, is they look at your profile, they love you, they get an emotional connection to you with whatever it is that's there. They read your story and they're like, wow, I want some of that for me. Then you push them to wherever it is that they're more likely to make a purchasing decision. Your website, a landing page, YouTube channel, and then make your initial consultation or whatever your first conversation is going to be one-to-one with them. Make that link available everywhere. It should be a call to action in your about section. It should be in your contact information on LinkedIn. Make it easy for them to find that link. And trust me, my clients use my link all the time. When they need to get a hold of me, they can help themselves to my calendar. And that's the way it should be. And I would encourage all of you, for yourself, for clients that you work with, map out that journey. You won't always know how it happens. I mean, I ask, how did you find out about me? What was the convoluted path that brought you into my world? And I'm telling you, these days, it's convoluted. It's like all over the place. Yesterday, I had way too many appointments. I'm still reeling. I think the grief is just starting to hit me from losing my dad. I think I was numb and in denial and just paralyzed the whole first month, and it's just starting to hit me. But the last appointment of the day, I'm like, who is this person? How do I know them? How did they, because before you go into an appointment, you really want to have a clue. It's a lot to manage sometimes. So in your calendar links, you want to make sure that you have some questions in there so that you can quickly look at the answers to those questions and say, oh, this person is coming to me through Mary Sue, the person who is training me on the CRM, that's providing the CRM that I'm using. She must have suggested that they talk to me. So you can piece together things. And so I'm very strategic about the questions that I ask for my initial consultation. Please share your LinkedIn URL. Please remind me how I know you. And I know that's annoying if somebody that has talked with me several times gets to that, they can just put not applicable. It's very useful for the other ones. So get your calendar tools to work for you really well. Ask those important questions. I ask people, how many minutes a day are you on LinkedIn? I want to understand, are they a newbie or are they somebody that's advanced? I want to know where to start my conversation. So are you interested in this, or this, professional branding, profile optimization, content strategy, business development, whatever it is, so that you have some context for those initial consultations. Mark, you've got your hand up.
So I've asked you this before, but that doesn't mean I remember what you say. I do two different things, as you know. I'm a legal recruiter, which is basically being a salesperson, but I'm an attorney and I mediate business disputes, which is being an attorney in a certain practice. I do need to have two different company pages when
yes, I would highly recommend that. And that is going to help your SEO and it's going to help your findability greatly, Mark, because each of those pages is going to have different keywords attached to them.
Okay.
But it really expands your findability on your profile. Both of those create more links back to your profile. And it's really the links that the crawlers are looking for. It's not just the keywords. I mean, if you think about the crawlers on the internet, just words, that's pretty light fare. But if they can find links, that's chunky. They hang on to that better.
But it's only one LinkedIn site. It's just with two different company sections.
That's 3 links right there.
And would you also, I hope your answer is no, would you also have 2 different websites?
I think you can handle it on one website. I'm really not a fan of maintaining more than one website. Maintaining just one is enough.
Right.
But you have a separate page for each. You know, you put your about page basically on the home page and say, you know, here's who I am and this is what I do. You know, if you're interested in this, you drive them to one page. If you're interested in this, you drive them to the other page. And then you
Great.
have contact forms at the bottom of each page.
Thank
don't-
you. That makes it clear.
You don't have to have a separate contact page, because if you know where the contact information is coming from, you know, if it's from the recruiting side or the mediation side, it's going to be more efficient for you.
Thank you.
Well, what you mentioned too, Angela, is asking a few questions. It really does help, because the person who's making the appointment has to think a little bit, and it gives us a better opportunity when we're talking because we know why they're talking to us.
Right. Right. It's just, you know, if it's just a 30-minute consultation, and it's pretty amazing what you can get done in 30 minutes, actually. But if you start out being that efficient, it's, you know, it's gold. And that's it. You want people to experience the gold experience with you so that they say yes to even your newsletter or, you know, some entry level thing that you have, whatever it might be. So you want to make those, you know, Calendly is a really powerful tool. Judy and I are using something a little bit different, but we still get to ask those questions. And I have a calendar link set up for my strategy session that actually collects money for me. So
Right.
getting calendar links to work for you a little bit harder so you don't have to do all the research and stuff is just super smart.
Yeah.
We all want to scale. And it's really setting up infrastructure for things. You know, I'm too exhausted this quarter to do much business building. So I'm going to work on things like infrastructure. That just makes sense to me, because when I do have the energy to really return full force to my business, I'm going to have all these systems set up so I can just rock and roll. I can just do what I love to do instead of all the behind the scenes administration bullshit that I don't like to do.
I'm totally with you because I'm doing the same thing. and once it's set up, then you and I will be able to spend more time with people and not having to worry about, did something fall through the cracks?
Yeah. Yep. I'm a big believer in systems these days. I'm a creative and I'm all over the map. It's just, wow. Trying to corral my brain in sometimes and focus on a single task is just, wow. So I like having automation that does things for me. I mean, for example, Janelle, you're going to sign up for the 10-day challenge. So I have a pre-series of 3 emails that's already automated. So you'll be well set up by the time you start on the 18th. You're going to have your email file put together so that you can shove all of those nice emails into that email file, and you can always find those scripts and templates when you need them in the future. And then on the 18th, her drip will start. And so every single day, Monday through Friday for 2 weeks, she's going to get an email at 8 o'clock in the morning in her time zone. And it's going to have her video, the template script or worksheet, the instructions, and the challenge of what she's supposed to do on LinkedIn that day in that email. And then there's a 7 email drip that comes after that with 5 bonuses over the course of 31 days. So you will be getting the how do you craft an out of office message that will book you appointments and several other things. And I can check to see how that is going every step of the way. But, you know, I've been working on the 10-day challenge for over 2 years now and perfecting every single one of those emails so that they're more and more efficient. I reshot all the videos last year. So having that one system is like, Now, when I go to a speaking event and it's geared towards entrepreneurs and their main topic is business development, I can say, oh, by the way, if you're interested in doing my 10-day challenge, here's $50 off. Go to this landing page and sign up for it. And then they're in my world. So actually, I'm using paid lead gen. People pay me to go through the 10-day challenge, and they're so convinced that I know how to help them that they stay in my world. And I have a profile assessment. I mean, really think about, and I know this is hard for a lot of people, you want to have an easy, yes, inexpensive, kind of comprehensive offering in a couple different places so that people really get to sample what it is that you do. And especially for coaches who have $2,000 to $10,000 packages, people are not pulling the trigger on that so readily these days. They really need to develop a relationship with you before they pull the trigger on something like that. So if there's something easy that they can do, like a LinkedIn profile assessment, and Janelle, you went through that. That's a fairly comprehensive thing, but it's kind of an easy yes.
It was great. If anyone hasn't done it, do it. It's awesome. Yeah, it's great.
And I'm super generous with my bottom end marketing tools because they're paid. It's, each of them has like 7 worksheets and, a pre-call and a post-call. And, they're fairly, I want to develop relationship and I want to give a lot of value because I don't want to go through client acquisition. I don't know about you, but client acquisition is just like, that's not my favorite. It's not a good use of my time. I would rather have people come to me through speaking events and referral partners and already kind of know who I am and what it is that I'm all about, so that it's an easy yes when I get into an initial consultation. I mean, don't we all want to have those slam dunks? Just, oh, you want to learn about profile brand or professional branding and profile optimization. Here, I got this for you. So it's really nice to have a variety of those lower end things. If somebody comes to me and they're really intermediate to advanced on LinkedIn, then I've got a strategy session. What is your strategy for fourth quarter? Do you have a plan for how you're going to handle your content around the holidays? Do you have an offer for January 1st or the 18th or whenever you want to start something? That kind of thing. So having an entry-level product for a couple different buckets is about the smartest thing you can do. But then you want to have higher end stuff that you can lead them to. So don't put together anything at the bottom end of the tier that isn't going to lead them into something that is, $2,000 to $10,000. So any questions? Does that bring up any questions for anybody? We've gotten pretty far away from LinkedIn, but the way I look at LinkedIn, it is a piece of your sales funnel. And it is kind of the anchor for your sales funnel. And these days, for many people, it's their first experience of you. And this is what I really want to drill into people's minds. Think of a first time someone looking at your profile. They don't know you. It's the very first time they're experiencing you. Is it warm and friendly? Is it clear? In 5 to 10 seconds, can they get the essence of what it is that you offer? because we have the attention span of gnats these days. You know, we want people to serve it up in a silver spoon for us. So your profile can't be confusing or overwhelming, or don't make me hunt around to figure out what it is that you do. You know, there are, what, 60 million coaches on LinkedIn. What kind of coach are you? Tell me what kind of coach you are. What's different about you? Who are you as a person? Why would I want to do business with you? It's really much more personable than it used to be. You know, people really want to know what makes you tick. LinkedIn is much more about your personality than it is about your offerings. Because if they're not attracted to your personality, the way you do things, you know, it's like Gary Vaynerchuk. You love him or hate him. I love it. He's not what he appears to be. And that's my problem with Gary V, is that he's so abrasive because he's so passionate and he's so New Jersey. And so people don't really get that he really has a soft side to him. I mean, he spoke at a event that I went to last week. Oh my God, you guys, it was so amazing. I'm going to write a little bit about it in the next newsletter, but he talked about his honey empire. Now, these words coming out of Gary V's mouth is like, what? He's like, yeah, he's like, I don't care if you got vendors working for you, get to know them, get them on a personal call, find out what they want in life. Make sure that they are working towards getting it. And then you won't have to worry about your business at all. And he said, you want organization in your business? Hire women. My chief of staff and my COO are both women. Can't live without them. And he says the number one job of a founder or a CEO is to eliminate fear. If your people are fearful that they're going to get jumped on for an idea, they're never going to innovate for you. Whatever it is they're afraid of, help them get rid of that fear. Interesting stuff. And diversify. Diversify. Have lots of different, you know, I'll tell you, Facebook going down on Monday. Oh my God, I laughed all day. LinkedIn did the same thing like 3 months ago. So you have to have many, many different ways where people can have touches with you on the digital platform. So diversify your offerings, diversify the way people can get in touch with you and where they see you. If you're on YouTube, then, you know, make sure that you put all the right hashtags at the bottom of every single video. Have your LinkedIn profile link on those videos. Have a signature at the bottom of every single YouTube video that's going to drive traffic to your landing page for something. But it's constantly, you know, it's like I said, map it out and make sure that everybody has opportunities to get to where you want them to be, whether it's a landing page or a calendar link or whatever it might be. Make sure that they have thousands of opportunities to find how to get in touch with you. Because when they're ready, they're ready. And it's whoever has the most convenient link is going to get the business. Seriously, I know how I operate. You know, if I need a plumber because my water heater went out, it's like whoever picks up the phone first. Yeah, Janelle, you remember when I went through all of that, right? I actually called my next door neighbor and he came right over. You know, it's whoever responds first, because we're not going to hunt. So don't make people hunt. I hope I hope all that makes sense. So any questions? Did any of that bring up any burning questions? Anything you'd like some clarity on?
Yeah.
Yes, Bente.
So you're talking about the 5 to 10 second super clarity, what you do, what you deliver. So I'm thinking of Dan's profile that I manage, and he's a chiropractor, but he wants to post a lot of things about nutrition. So that's not necessarily related to most people. So would you change the hashtags to nutritional ones, or is this consistent with?
I would stay
main one?
consistent with what his main offering is. And I know in the past that Dan was really kind of focused on athletes and getting rid of, like tennis elbow and repetitive motion sorts of things. I think that he should continue to focus on that. And then in the featured section and in the about section, in a bullet pointed list, that's where you list the other things.
Okay.
Because these days, I'm going to tell you, people want a lot more from their chiropractor.
Uh-huh.
They want to know, what's the best way to meditate, and do I need electrolytes? And it's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to mention all those things too, and position yourself as that flavor of chiropractor.
Yeah. Okay.
And some of the gentle touch and all that sort of thing. I'm done with chiropractors that force stuff someplace and it never stays there. I'm done with that.
Okay.
So yes, Judy.
I've got a question. When I'm posting, articles seem to be more, okay, I want to know, should I keep posting on LinkedIn or should I just do articles? What's your mix on that?
Great question. Excellent question. And this is cause for a great deal of confusion with everybody. So there is a big difference between posting something into the news feed and actually posting an article. Articles don't get a lot of views, but articles add a lot more SEO and they live connected to your profile.
Okay.
Posts do not. Now, posts are going to get you a great deal more attention, but they're not going to add as much to your SEO. And generally, here's one way that certain people will get to know you is they'll go straight to your articles and they'll read like the top 3 or 4, or maybe even more, to kind of get the flavor of who you are. Because it's easy. Reading all your posts is stupid and confusing. It doesn't work. But to read 3 to 5 blog posts and kind of get a sense of what your philosophy is, that's easy to do. And I've had several people tell me that that's how they got to know me, was they read my articles. So articles have a very specific function. And here's my suggestion to people who are doing newsletters or blog posting onto your website. Make sure that you duplicate that on LinkedIn. Switch it up a little bit. Not every word has to be exactly the same. What I do with my newsletter is, when I get around to it, I publish it as an article on LinkedIn. If it's a really good one that I got a lot of feedback from, I'm going to add it to the featured section on LinkedIn. And then a week later, I'm going to have my web guy add it onto my website.
So you're doing LinkedIn first, and then the reason this came up is I was in a mastermind and we were talking about articles, and I had been posting, when I do my YouTube posts, then I was just, it says, do you want to share wherever you want to share? And I was just popping them in as a post on LinkedIn, and I went, oh, so I need to stop doing it that way and copy the embed
them more native on LinkedIn. Yes.
So I really wish the different services gave you choices, but they don't. They give you the
No.
embed link or
Yeah.
yeah. So, but that came up, and I went, oh, because I transcribe every video I do, so you can see what it's about, and then I had been just posting that in my blog, but now I'm doing it on LinkedIn, and now I'm a little behind since of all those videos in September. But I'll get back to that.
And that is really important too, to make sure that your videos do have subtitles. Do mine? They don't, not yet. I haven't gotten there. Because most people are viewing social media on mute. And so the subtitles are what really, and it adds to your SEO. So, everything until Google changes the way they're doing SEO, SEO is the game. It really is the game. You want to optimize everything. Have your quintessential hashtags for your main offerings and use those everywhere. And try to get a following for some new ones as well. I create a hashtag for each of my clients that I'm doing social media management for. Unlocking your potential. That's Taryn's last name. And Ask Tana is the one I use for her. They each have a hashtag that's their own. And so if somebody typed in that hashtag, they would get a really nice body of their work in a response to that hashtag.
Okay, I've been a little lame with the hashtags. It still feels weird to me to do that.
And pick one that's you could use Book Marketing Mentor.
I can, but I actually know Susan Friedman. It does a podcast called Book Marketing. Well, not she just, but there are more people out there that use that title. So some people are using it. That's my business name also, but it's not just me. So other people can show up. So I've got.
Well, you could borrow her audience.
Oh, I'd love to borrow her audience. Man, that'd be nice.
Because nobody owns hashtags. There's no IP around hashtags.
Yeah.
That's totally fair game.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. But yeah, I do include a pretty robust in my description. I always have a full description. So one of the tricks if I can share that, if you all haven't tried Loom, which is Loom, it will transcribe as you record your video. It does a transcription. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good, and you can edit it. And then you edit it, you put that in your description for Loom, and you put it on YouTube, because you can download.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Or you can also, if you have a professional account, you can also share from Loom without it saying that it's the Loom video. And so check it out. And it's not very expensive. And I found that it's fast. It is so damn fast. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, Loom is awesome for so many things. I'm gearing up to start delegating. I mean, one of the most painful things that entrepreneurs do, right? And my VA team is in the Philippines. So, there's a significant time difference. It's 15 hours. And so I communicate with Kat and her team via Loom. So I'll go right into my CRM. I'll demonstrate what I'm asking them to do, and Kat picks it up and runs with it. And if she has a question, she sends me a Loom video. I read it the next morning, send it back to her, and she takes care of it while I'm sleeping. Loom is super powerful, rather than, if somebody says, how do I change my banner? I'm going to send them a Loom video, because, I'll go right to their profile. I'll show them how to do it. It's super easy.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Judy, on Loom, do you do your original recording in Loom, or do you do it in?
No, I usually do it right in Loom. I use several different products, but I'm finding Loom to be probably the best, quickest, and the highest resolution of all. I mean, the first time I did it, I just nearly fell off my chair, because I went, wait a minute. I'd been using all these other, I mean, everything from Adobe Premiere down.
Yeah, yeah.
It just rocks. It just rocks.
And it does the
Oh.
captioning as you're speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go back and edit that if you want to then turn that into something to use in other channels.
Exactly.
Okay,
Oh
I
my
didn't-
God.
Yeah.
I thought it was all audio.
Oh, no.
There are other programs that do that, but no, Loom has just crazy ass good. I mean, it can go up to 4K
Wow.
recording quality.
Thank you for sharing that. That's great. Because
Yeah, that worth the price of admission right there.
right.
Absolutely. And it's easy to use.
Okay.
Well, and here's the conference that I went to last week. The CEO of Loom was one of the speakers.
Oh,
And look forward to some new fun stuff coming out this fall.
I'm sure of it.
They're going to be adding some cool features.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, both Loom and Canva are just continuing to get better and better and better.
Canva's CEO was on there as well. I'm telling you, this was the best conference ever. It was so fun.
Yeah.
She's got a really amazing story. She taught the storytelling for your business segment of this playbook event, and it was fascinating. It was really good. Anyway, we've got 4 minutes left. Who's got a question? Well, I'll sum up a couple of things. Here's my gut feeling about this fall. Take whatever business comes your way and work on your infrastructure. Really work on what does your pipeline look like now, and where are the gaps? Because really, a pipeline is incrementally getting somebody to say yes to what you do. So do you have materials that will help them say yes along that path? And if you've never mapped out your client journey, start asking more questions and get a feel for how people come to you. If it's referral partners, then I recommend that you read the book Giftology and put your referral partners, your best referral partners, onto a formal program for you to send them a gift.
I love it.
So work on your infrastructure, work on your own client journey, because here's the deal, you guys. People's motivation to say yes for different things is so different now than it was a year and a half ago. I have a mastermind for a bunch of people who sell franchises. And what they have witnessed is that people's motivation for buying their own business super different than it was a year and a half ago. They are really done with the BS. They are done spending 10 hours a week in a commute. They really want to take control of their own financial independence, and they want to know that their hard work is going someplace. And they're super committed to that. Like conviction like never before. So once they do come into somebody's pipeline, and I'm going to tell you, it's a 6-month to a year-long process. Lots of places to drop the ball. And so I've been pushing and pushing and pushing for them to have videos and emails and PDFs and infographics for every step of that journey. You're probably freaking out right now. I'm going to pull the trigger on this couple of $10,000 thing. Don't take your foot off the gas. Just walk right into that fear and walk through it. Whatever you decide is okay. but really being real with people. I mean, we've sort of tap danced around all of this stuff, buyer's remorse. And, you know, seriously, one of the functions of a content strategy is to prevent buyer's remorse. A lot of people don't know that. But if people see, oh yeah, there's lots of people engaging with that post, I did make a good purchase. I'm really glad that I did that. Content has ROI in very hidden places. Gary Vee talked about, you don't have a sales pipeline, you have a content pipeline, or you don't have much. Anyway, we're at 10 o'clock and I'm going to another conference today. It's on the East Coast. So it like goes until 9 their time. I'm like, I did the math last night. That's midnight our time. I'm like, WTF? that's like 3 hours past my bedtime. Anyway, so there, yeah, it's going to be a long couple of days. I hope this was really helpful, you guys. You know, if you have lingering questions, I'm going to throw a 15-minute appointment for my calendar into the follow-up along with the recording. I think I'm going to throw in my, you know, elements of a great post so that if you are thinking about content, that you can use that little PDF to really put together some killer posts for the upcoming months.
Oh, you are so
Thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Have a good month.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're so welcome.